Hey everyone, welcome. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. What we're about to dive into isn't your standard software tutorial or some basic how-to guide. Instead, think of this explainer as an immersive documentary analysis of human creativity in a totally new era. We're looking at a fascinating series from the Humanity and the Age of AI channel by Yo-Yo Claw, focusing specifically on the very first step of creating with AI. We're going to explore this profound shift and how ordinary people can now literally bring their wildest creative dreams to life just by starting a simple conversation. So what would you do if you knew you could? I really want you to let that sink in for a second. Think about that hidden passion you might have buried deep down. Maybe you've always wanted to write a book, compose a song, or even direct a mini musical, but you just never took that first step because the traditional path seemed, well, completely out of reach. The technical skills, the money, the time, it was a giant wall. But what happens to that passion when the wall suddenly disappears? This brings us to a massive mindset shift. You see, we so often tie the act of creation to profit or professional success. But the source material emphatically reminds us of something crucial. True creation is about fulfilling a deep, persistent internal need to express yourself. It's about doing it just because your soul demands it. The arrival of conversational AI isn't really about automating jobs. It's about finally giving yourself the ultimate permission to try. The contrast between the old path and the new path is honestly striking. Think about it. To create an album or an audio documentary in the past, you needed years of rigorous study. You had to overcome massive technical barriers, and you had to rent out incredibly expensive studios. But today, the new path takes mere minutes, costs absolutely $0, and requires nothing more than a web browser and an idea. AI doesn't replace your innate human talent, but it completely, miraculously eliminates the expensive distance between your concept and your very first attempt. The rules of engagement have fundamentally changed here. What used to take years of preparation now takes minutes. The music, the writing, the dancing, none of it asks for permission or profitability anymore. It simply asks to be expressed. And you know, that is a deeply, wonderfully liberating realization for anyone who has ever wanted to be a creator. Okay, section 1, meet the mirror, or el reflejo. Let's unpack this revolutionary framework, because it completely flips the script on everything we usually hear about artificial intelligence. In the Yo-Yo Claw series, they call this el reflejo, or the mirror. It's a conversational AI collaborator. And notice I said collaborator, not creator. It doesn't just hand you ready-made generic answers. Instead, it acts as an extended metaphor. AI is not some all-knowing oracle that creates on your behalf. It is simply a mirror. It catches your unique, personal light, focuses it, and bounces it back to you with so much more clarity. So, how does this entire process actually kick off? It's fascinating, really. It never starts with a rigid master plan. It starts with a simple, honest question and a half-formed idea. In the Source project, this conversation takes on a persona named Noah. You don't tell Noah, hey, do this for me. You converse with this agent to actually discover what it is that you want to create. You just bring the disposition to look into the mirror and try. Moving right along to section 2, the 4 practical steps to start. How does this build from high-level philosophy down to the ground level? Like, how does this actually work in practice, and how on earth does it cost $0? Well, these 4 liberating steps are your roadmap. First, choose a free conversational AI. Second, and this is absolutely crucial, start with the need, the why. Asking the AI, I want to make a song for my daughter, where do I start, is infinitely more powerful than asking a sterile question like, how do I use the software? Third, treat it as a back-and-forth dialogue. The first answer is never the final one. You adjust and refine. And fourth, turn that refined idea into a concrete plan for a song, a video, or a chapter. And honestly, here is the absolute best part. None of this, literally none of it, requires you to know how to program code, compose sheet music, or even write grammatically perfect prose. The only real requirements here are a basic sense of human curiosity and your willingness to type out that very first, messy, imperfect sentence. And the accessibility here is just brilliant. To start your journey, your toolkit consists of completely free platforms like Claude, which was heavily used in this project, or Gemini. Throw in Yo-Yo Claw's Noah as your creative identity layer, and your total cost is $0. There are no massive software suites to download, no hidden subscriptions required to start conceptualizing, just you, a web browser, and a mirror ready to reflect your ideas. All right, section 3, the snowball effect. Once you start, it is wild how this process can unexpectedly snowball into massive, beautiful, fully realized creative projects. In minute 1, You have that initial conversation. Within an hour, using tools like Notebook LM, that idea can become a fully narrated audio documentary. By day one, using an AI like Suno, you've produced your very first original song. Fast forward a week, and you're curating a full album and pairing it with cinematic music videos generated by AI like Freebeat. And within a month, you could be looking at a published book or a complete mini musical. The velocity of creation is just staggering. But, and this is a big but, the human element remains completely vital. As the source emphasizes with the album Despierta, which is a bilingual electro swing project, the concept rules over everything else. Anyone can ask an AI for a single song, but ensuring 10 tracks actually feel like they belong to the exact same story, that's where you shift from being a simple user to becoming a visionary director. You define the emotion, the era, the sonic palette. The AI merely executes. You are the one directing the entire album. This leads to a really deeply personal project detailed in the source called Alma. It's an entire Broadway-style mini-musical. It wasn't made to be sold, it was created purely as a gift. And this proves that AI can transcend being just a sterile corporate productivity tool. When it's guided by human emotion, it becomes a profound, intimate medium for expressing love. It's the mirror in its absolute purest form, reflecting love toward another person. And that brings us to Section 4, sharing your world. You've had the conversation, you've built the vision, you've created the work. Now you have to take what you've created and push it out into the world. The source material highlights a crucial final step here. Creating in private is healing, sharing is transformative. Sharing your work on platforms like YouTube isn't about vanity. It's not about trying to go viral or monetizing every second of your time. It is about offering your light to others. It's about the fact that your completed project might just be the exact permission someone else in the world needed to start their own journey. The beautiful truth is that this entire explainer is essentially a mirror itself. It's showing you exactly what ordinary people can achieve when they finally stop waiting for the perfect moment to arrive. It was never really about the machine, you know? It was always about you, and the tools are simply waiting for your first sentence. The series leaves its viewers with a signature sign-off, a direct challenge that I am now passing on to you. I want to do this with AI, and you? The mirror is in your hands now. The distance between your greatest idea and your first attempt is literally just a few minutes away. So I have to ask, what are you going to ask first?